and she performed the version from the film for over 30 years. I think might need to get out of the way here a little bit more. Before we take a break with the music for a moment, a few members of the Prairie Bells would like to offer a demonstration of sorts of a very old-fashioned style of bell ringing. And so in the 17th century, the 1600s, tower bell ringers in England had developed their own mathematical system of ringing tower bells, not unlike what we actually have up in our tower here at the church. They called this mathematical system of ringing the tower bells change ringing. A rope hung from each bell hanging in the tower, and a single change ringer pulled one of the ropes to turn the bell and make it produce its sound. The bells were rung in numerical order from highest to lowest. All bells had to be rung once before the order could restart. The next order could be slightly different from the first, and so on. Each order is called a change. There is not any notated music for change ringing, but instead a listing of numerical sequences. For example, if 3 bells are used, bell 1 would ring, followed by bell 2, and then bell 3. The next change would be bell 2, and then 3, and then 1. The next change would be 3, then 1, and then 2. Everybody understand now? The bells change position in which they are rung. However, change ringing was noisy. Think about all of the tower bells ringing perhaps at different times of the day. The neighbors were probably feeling annoyed hearing the bells ringing over and over and over. So change ringers were hit with inspiration and developed small bells they could hold in their hands to practice their change ringing. As time went on, handbells developed into their own version of change ringing. It's a technique called lapping or cross and stretch. So today, members from the Prairie Bells are going to demonstrate this technique. Watch as the ringers pick up and put down a bell each time they ring it. As the bell sequence changes, you will see the ringers physically swap the bells so the bells move up and down the table. To help you keep track of how two of the bells move up and down the table, I'm thinking of the shell game. I haven't seen this before either. The two bells tuned to the musical note C have a ribbon tied to them. A purple ribbon on the high C bell, a yellow ribbon on the low C bell. So in your mind, envision the sounds you are about to hear coming from a bell tower and enjoy watching the movements of the bells throughout this fun demonstration. Is that right? 8 bells?
You can do it with more people.
So you could have more bells and more people. Yeah, I'm thinking of the card trick, 3-card Monty. So at least we had an 8-bell Monty this evening. So now it's time to hear from the organization the Prairie Bells picked to benefit from tonight's concert, Rains of Life. So we would like to invite to the microphone the executive director of Rains of Life, Dorota Yannick. Did I get that right or close? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. Let me start from thanking everyone here for spending a Sunday night, deciding to be here to listen to the beautiful music, start the holiday season in that wonderful art prelude to the festivities, and also to dedicating that time to learn about our organization. Second thank you goes to Prairie Bells. You know, when we are in the office and somebody calls and says, hey, I would like to do something for you, you should see the excitement and heartbeats are racing and empowering that it happens because somebody noticed what we do for the community. So thank you so much for choosing us this year. I was told I have 10 minutes. For those who know me, it's almost impossible for me to talk only 10 minutes about Rains of Life. I can spend hours, but let me try. So Rains of Life was established in 1978. We didn't have a location, so we were called a little bit of traveling circus. We had, in one place, we had borrowed arena. In another place, we borrowed horses. And this first year, we served 16 students. That was happening until Nancy Taylor joined the volunteer workforce for Rains of Life. And after trailing horses for some time, she and her husband Lloyd decided that they have to donate the land and change that habit of traveling from one place to another and have a solid home for Rains of Life. So they donated land in Leibig. and help raise funds to build the facility that is currently our headquarters. The reason I say the headquarters, because we, in 2007, were blessed with another facility in Michigan City. So right now we have two centers that this year we broke all the records, serving 430 unique individuals throughout the month. Some of them come once a week, some of them come once a week, some twice a month, or some of them once a month. Our programs serve people as young as 2 years old. There is no upper age limit, so the oldest right now is 82. And we have 12 different programs. I'd like to highlight some of them for you so you know what we do. So first program is our flag program that we started with. It's therapeutic horseback riding. So we teach you how to ride a horse, but in the process we incorporate occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, social, emotional, behavioral therapy to help you function in a society in the most possible way. Our mission actually is to improve quality of life for children and adults with disabilities. And we have a diagnosis varied from physical, cognitive, social, and emotional. So you name it, we have it basically. And collectively with our awesome team members, there's 15 staff members between the two locations, and wonderful, the most wonderful team of volunteers, 400 a week. We try to make you, whoever is coming through our door, feel empowered and prepared to face challenges that you have. We all have challenges, but some people have more than others, and our goal is to equip you with the tools and coping skills that you can carry on with your life and be higher independence is our goal for you. So that's one program. For people who cannot be on the horse for various reasons, allergy, physical ability, being afraid of heights, we have driving programs. So you drive a horse attached to the carriage, which is really fun too. You draw the same benefits as from therapeutic riding. We have interactive vaulting. For those who don't know who is a vaulting, it's basically gymnastic on a horse. So right now we don't have adults in that program. We have teenagers and elementary school kids. But basically, you jump on a horse is moving, and you do all these different movements like you would do in a circus. It's very empowering, and if you think about it, you probably, I heard those questions all the time, like how is it possible? How many of you know the term invisible disabilities? You do? Okay. Thank you. So invisible disabilities are those that you cannot see in a bare eye, but they are affecting the individual who is diagnosed with them from properly functioning in certain situation. So that can be a depression, PTSD, anxiety, autism, sometimes high functioning has that portion too. So that interactive vaulting program helps riders learn how to cope with the certain situations. And the most benefit of that program is that children communicate with each other. And I have a great story. It's we have a student, high school student now, who came to us, and she was a victim of bullying. So huge drama at school. She was so affected by that she couldn't go to school for weeks on. When she came to Reins of Life, she held her mom's hand and couldn't walk by herself through our door. We put her in an interactive vaulting program, and after a few sessions, she became a leader. She was helping other students in her quiet, collected way. She offered to be a mentor to the elementary student this year. But the highlight of her story was when her mom walked to my office one day with tears and said that her daughter raised her hand in full class and answered a question the teacher posed. Another huge program of ours is K-12, where we partner with local schools. We serve children from Southern Empowerment Zone. We have teenagers from Oakland Residential Program. We have Boys and Girls clubs from Wilson and Warren Elementary Schools. They come to us weekly. We also partner with Indiana Center for Recovery. We have South LaPorte Special Education Schools. So the list goes on and on. What I would like to tell you is my personal story. I came to Range to become a volunteer. I heard on TV they're looking for the volunteers, and I answered. Originally, you can tell I wasn't born here. However, in a week I'm celebrating being a one-year American. So, thank you. But I was watching TV, hearing that ad for becoming a volunteer, and I was about to leave for my brother's wedding back in Poland, and I said, oh, I will come back, and I call. Turns out the ad wasn't for Rains of Life, but for other center, but I couldn't remember the name of the center, so I Googled therapeutic riding, and Rains of Life popped up. So I called, and with my broken English, that was much worse than it is right now, Chris picked up the phone. She's right here in the audience, and she said, yeah, come on over. And my first rider that I helped was nonverbal. I was told that this rider has nothing wrong with the vocal cord, but she never spoken a word, and she was 6 years old. So I was working with her for 8 weeks. I never heard a word from her, but in Trains programs, you have to cooperate. You have to be engaged. Otherwise, it's hard to make a difference. So for kids that are nonverbal, we ask them to tap a horse twice for walk on, or smile, or tap once for whoa. And she was doing just that for 7 weeks. After last lesson, I took her off the horse. I gave her a lead rope, and I was waiting for the tap to signal we can go. And instead, I've heard, walk on thunder. Her mom, I tell this story over and over, and I'm goosebump again. Her mom was crying, I was crying, the instructor was crying. And then I met this girl again when she was going to Warren Elementary School, fully speaking. So I was sold. I am a chemist by trade. I came to my husband and I said, when position open for ED, do you mind if I switch my career? And that's what he said, go for it if that's your heart. And it is my heart. We at Trains of Life, almost every employee is former a volunteer, and we love our jobs and love what we see every single day. And last year, it was like a full cycle. We had another student who came to us at age of 4.5 during summer. He didn't have the purposeful speech. He knew some words and shouted them without connection to anything we were doing from time to time. And between a couple months, he started communicating. His first reaction, purposeful expression of emotion was because the horse pooped, and he said disgusting. So we knew that he can make this connection. So we asked Mom, would it be okay to make a video as a testimonial to what effect we have on your child? And Mom agreed, was enthusiastic. We are in our woods, Nancy's woods, filming. The videographer, artists, they want to retake. And Dave looks at him and he knows what's about to happen, repeat of whatever we just did. He rolls his eyes, the little 4.5-year-old rolls his eyes and says to us, "Oh no, this guy again." His mom and I were crying from laughter because we didn't know even, he wasn't communicating. And here he has this sense of humor, right? We showed that video at our big event in January. In February, his mom came back for lessons, and she stopped at my office and said, "I have a story to tell you." She said that her son was moved from special education to general education because his teacher thinks that he can thrive right now in a regular classroom. So those are just a couple of stories of what we can do. We have 22 horses in South Bend and 13 in Michigan City, including 2 donkeys. We also do mini visitation to nursing homes, assisted living facilities. We have program Nuzzles and Snuggles for people from memory units in different and support groups like muscular dystrophies at the barn. And we are a fun bunch. Always look for volunteers. Always look for help on special projects like mailing. So if you are bored where you're at, although I see that everybody is so busy and active that I feel lazy. But if you have a few hours to spend, always reach out to us. Another aspect of Rains of Life is that we almost exclusively function on donation grants and events. So if you want to support us this way, that would be wonderful too. We do charge for our services, but it's a fraction of what costs us. It constitutes 10% of our annual revenue. Thank you. I know I exceeded my time, but anybody has any questions? If you do, please meet me after the concert at the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Ooh, watch me trip up the steps here. Thank you, Dorota. That's very nice. And I understand I'm a preacher. I often go over my time. So I get it. It is time to show our appreciation and support to Rains of Life. And we're going to have our ushers come forward at this time to receive an offering for that. Please place your donations in the plates. And Becky, should they make checks payable to Rains of Life directly? Or does that work for you, Dorota? So if you wanted to write a check, you can make that directly to Rains of Life. And so the song Pure Imagination, which is up next, was written by Leslie Bricusse and Anthony Newley for the 1971 movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, I like Johnny Depp, but this was the superior movie, in my opinion. But reportedly, the composers have said the song was written in one day over the phone. If you're not familiar with the story, it's about an unusual candy factory and a poor boy named Charlie. Charlie finds one of the coveted golden tickets hidden inside the wrapping of a Wonka candy bar. He and his grandpa join 4 other children who were also lucky winners and their parents for a tour of the most peculiar chocolate factory in the world. The tour turns out to be both thrilling and dangerous, but there is a sweet ending. While the movie was nominated for a Golden Globe and the soundtrack for an Academy Award, no special honors were achieved. However, in the 1980s, when the movie was shown on TV and available on home video, it grew in popularity. In 2016, when Gene Wilder, the actor who played the part of Willy Wonka in the movie, died, there were many tributes paid to him using this song that he sang in the movie. As the song begins, Willy Wonka, the children and their families have just arrived to the chocolate room. This is the room where candy of all kinds appear to be growing in a garden-like setting, and a chocolate river runs through it. The first part of this song is actually spoken before the singing begins, and the spoken words go like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the chocolate room. Hold your breath, make a wish, and count to 3. Now come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. As you've probably figured out by now, the Prairie Bells are a smart bunch. Among them, there are 3 bachelor's degrees, 3 master's degrees, and 2 doctorate degrees. And yes, yeah. And I told our church congregation this morning, I'm working on my doctorate. I'm about halfway through. So I look forward to one day when someone goes, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And I'll be able to say, "Yes, but I probably can't help you with what you need, but I can pray for you." So as we come to the next song, this is a famous aria, Caro Mio Ben, translated to rather, "Dearest Believe." Dearest Believe. And it has been credited to Giuseppe Giordano, an Italian composer, mainly of opera. Born December 9th, 1743 in Naples, he studied music and wrote 30-some operas, but only a few survived. He also wrote several oratorios and church music. At the age of 31, he was appointed music director of the chapel in Naples. His first opera, Le Opinina, I was a music major, but it's been a while since I've sung in Italian, was released when he was 36. And at 45, his sacred drama was a notable success. 4 years later, in 1791, until his death in 1798, he was Maestro di Cappella at Fermo Cathedral. Enjoy Caro Mio Ben. So from an Italian composer to a German composer, here's a good point to pause and say we've also got world travelers here. I don't know who's been the furthest, but there's a lot of countries listed here, from Canada to the UK to Greece, Italy, Germany, South Korea, Japan. Those are probably some of the furthest on the other side of the globe. China, Honduras, Costa Rica, Mexico, the Caribbean islands, Egypt, the Holy Land. So many places. I think I've covered a lot of them there. Did I miss any? Switzerland? So it's wonderful to look at our world travelers here as well as hear them. So Karl Bohm was a German pianist and composer, born September 11th, 1844, and died April 4th, 1920. And he is regarded as one of the leading German songwriters of the 19th century. One of his famous works is Still as the Night. Bohm's specialty was music in a lighter vein. He was more than a songwriter. He also wrote chamber music, mostly quartets and piano trios, which were and still are popular among amateurs and professionals needing an audience pleaser. Still as the Night. Now, I did promise some jokes, so I found some of these. This way you can boo me instead of the Prairie Bell ringers. They are bell related. I just Googled some of these. Who invented knock-knock jokes? Does anybody know? Whoever they are, they deserve a Nobel Prize. Yeah? Yeah. Knock-knock. Isabel. Is a bell necessary on a bike? Yeah, we could have, but no, that was good time. Well timed, Kathy. What sounds does a llama's doorbell make? Llama, llama, ding dong, right? What do you call a skeleton who rings the doorbell? A dead ringer. Oh, I like that. When my kids go boo instead of laugh, I take that as well. And last but not least, why do cows have bells? Maybe you've heard this one. Because their horns don't work. Right? Now, our next piece is popular. It's one of my favorite Christmas carols that is based upon a Ukrainian song written by Mykola Leonov. If you don't know how to pronounce things, I always tell people, just do it with authority the wrong way, and nobody will ever know the difference. But I believe it is Mykola Leontovich. And this is what I close, at least. In 1914, Carol of the Bells was adapted by Peter Wilowski, and following a performance of the original Ukrainian song at Carnegie Hall in 1922. The music is based on a four-note ostinato, or musical phrase, that repeats throughout the piece. The original Ukrainian folk song is a winter well-wishing song, traditionally sung in Ukrainian villages on New Year's Eve. When Wilhowski heard the performance in 1922, he was reminded of bells, which led him to write his lyrics to convey that imagery. Carol of the Bells. I'm so used to, in church, saying amen after a piece, so I just want to say amen after each one. So we have come to the final song of the concert, and we want to thank you for attending today and supporting the work of Reigns of Life and what they do each day to help people in our community. So thank you again. And please be sure to check out their display over here on the table, and you may certainly greet the ringers as you are finishing with your time here in the sanctuary. As a matter of fact, if any children especially, or adults for that matter, would like a demonstration on how to ring a bell, they're always recruiting. So if you'd like to participate and learn how to ring a bell properly, they would be glad to share that with you. So again, we thank you for being part of today's concert. And on behalf of all the members of the Prairie Bells, we wish you a beautiful and blessed holiday season. And what a way to get into Thanksgiving and to Advent and Christmas through this wonderful time. The best Christmas medley ever is the piece that comes next, or last here. And it was written by John C. Dare. This piece consists of 4 well-known Christmas carols. You will first hear, O Come All Ye Faithful, followed by Away in a Manger. The third song is The Friendly Beasts, and the final song is It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. While this medley was published in 1999, the carols themselves are, of course, much older. It is thought that O Come All Ye Faithful was the result of the collaboration between several authors. John F. Wade is credited with having the earliest printed version in a book he published. The manuscript of the book is dated 1751. Away in a Manger was first published in 1882 under the title Luther's Cradle Carol, or Luther's Cradle Song, rather. While most people attribute the carol to Martin Luther, the carol is now thought to be of American origin. The Friendly Beasts most likely originated in the 12th century, the 1100s, in France. The carol includes verses where various animals are offering a gift of comfort to the Christ child. And lastly, the carol, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, was composed by Edmund Sears as a poem. It first appeared in publication called The Christian Register in Boston, Massachusetts, in 1849. Please sit back and relax and enjoy our medley of the best Christmas carols ever.